Now we're going to do the transition, first transition. Its job is to get us from the tonic, in this case to the dominant, because it's major, that's what it almost always does, and then sort of rifle us along to get to the second theme. So it starts out sounding like it's going to be the same as the beginning, and we have a 1 chord here, and then we have our 6 chord right here. Again, you can call this a 6. You know, if we call that there, it's 6. If we call that there, it's 4, or sorry, 6/4. Kind of feel like we called it 6/4/3. Yeah, 6/4 up there. Sorry, bad. But classically, we like to pivot on this first inversion 6 chord. You hear the B flat repeated there, the tonic again. Either way you call it, you'll keep the same here. We're going to a new key. We're going to be pivot chord right there. That's going to be 1 going to a 6, which is a 2. We're now in the key of the dominant, which is F, right there. Right? This is a G, B flat, D chord, right? And now that we're in the new key, I'm just going to put this here to remind us, but this is now in the key of F. So the C chord with that right there is another indicator that we're in the key of F, is a 5/7. And there's the same chord again, but just inverted. Well, he does his run, so 5/6/5. And then 5s like to come out to 1s, right? In terms of this, focus. There's a classic pivot chord modulation. Start a modulating phrase with 1 chord, quickly get something you can pivot on that's common to both keys, and then, you know, drive to a cadence from there. You know, it establishes that it wasn't just a secondary dominant or something, but we're actually in this key. Okay, and now he does his transition noodling. This first section up to cadence was to get him, you know, key changed like he needs to be. It's transition 1, right? Okay, so now here he plays, let's play this noodle game here and here, and then he goes on to another thing. So this is a 5/2 chord right there. C, E, G, B flat, and the B flat's there, which is going to voice lead us, because this is 7 to the 3rd of the 1 chord, right? So, you know, F, A, C, and then he's going to do it again. You can see that this is the same, it's just ornamented a little bit right there. So this is going to be a 5/2, it's going to be a 1/6, okay? And then this is a little transition that's taking us over the page to our C chord, which is our 5 chord again, right there. We're in the key of F. And so let's just have a look at this. So it looks like we have a G, B flat, D chord, right? That's going to be a 2 chord in the key of F. So 2/6, which is fine. And you would expect a 5 chord, and that's what's coming up right here, okay? However, before they do that, it's very common, I would say, it's not uncommon. They ramp the technology up a bit. See how this B flat gets raised to a B natural. Now we have a B, D, F, right? Which is a B diminished chord, which is 7 diminished of C, B goes to C, which is our 5 chord. And so sort of just modifies this to give us more pull. Now we're over here, and gosh, you know, I hate these because, like, this chord right here is a little enigmatic, but we had a 5 chord here, and then we have the 5 chord again. You can kind of ignore these notes right there. They're like neighbor tones, right? You can see the structure between here and here and here. So we got like the C, E, E, and then the C again. We don't need the G, right? And then the E and the G's and the C right there, okay? So you can see that this is a 5/6/5, and this is my 1 chord, F, A, and C, right? Which is great. However, what do we do with this? Is it an F chord? Because 5 loves to go to 1, C likes to go to F, and then back to 5. But then there's this there. And there's 2 ways to look at it, maybe 3 ways. One is to say, well, what happens in more developed areas when that kind of thing happens again? Or you can just say, you know, it's fine, because D, F, and then C without the A would be a D minor 7, which would be a 6 chord, right? Which would be fine for 5 to go to 6. That's okay. Or, so we could call this 6/7, right? Or we could say that's a passing note, and this is just another 1 chord that's like a passing chord right there. Either way, Okay, but we have to replicate that over here. So what happens is he does this little thing right here, and then he does this again, but he inverts, right? So let's ignore this for a minute and just transfer this over. 5, and this is my 6, 7, or my 1 chord, and that's a passing thing, and that's my 5, 6, 5, right? There's no 7th on that one. Actually, there's no 7th on that one either. It's just a 5, 6, and then a 1, right? Okay, and so then let's look at this right here. Well, we've got a E and a C and a G and a B flat up there. It feels like the 5 chord again. We can call this a 4-3 because that's the first note there. And then here we have an F, A, C. This is not a chord tone right there. That's my 1. And oh, well, we have a D, F, and a C, which would be my 6th chord with a 7. So now, seeing that, there might be some reason to say, well, Mozart's thinking around the same game the whole time. And so 6, 6, and then, another one of those right there. So maybe, right? Because D, F, A, and C. There's no A here, but, anyhow. Okay. I just want to point out that your textbook says that 6 doesn't go to 5. Clearly it can. Well, it's transient here. All right. So we get our 1 chord here. We're over here. This looks like a C and a G and a B flat. The E's missing until we get to right there. But this whole thing looks like a 5 chord. So 5, there's my 7th. So 4-3 because of that note right there. And then 6-5 because of that note right there. And this is a 1 chord right there. And this, well, it looks like a B flat chord. This is probably not a chord tone, right? So B flat, D, and F. We're in the key of F, so B flat is now the 4 chord, right? It's inverted, and then we finally get to, looks like a grand old C chord. Remember, this is treble clef until we get to there. So this is a C chord, so it's a nice 5 chord, and that's reinforced there as well. And that's the end of our transition. We changed from the key of B flat to the key of F quickly, and then we had a bunch of transition-y stuff, unstable chords, quick things, repeated little fragments and stuff like that, and a nice, strong half cadence that dumps us out at the end of the water slide, ready for theme 2. Okay?